Hello, this is Joseph Pirayou. I want to welcome you to a special program that we have today in the beginning, Ashur. Uh, I have a very special guest. Haven't talked to him in a while. With me is Professor Efrem Yildiz from University of Salamanca in Spain. Professor, hello, good
شانو
evening.
شلامة ميقريوس.
Professor Anna. It's a live program, so Pachalta, Shlama, Shlomo, welcome.
شانو شلامة شانو. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and as usual, I enjoy very much spending the time talking about those issues that concern every Assyrian around the world.
Yeah, we love you for that, for all the effort that you're doing here. Today's special program is regarding a couple of events that one has happened, one is upcoming. But before, Professor, I go over that, uh, we call you Professor Efrem Yildiz. Can you give us background on, you know, yourself, uh, why did you even, what is it that you're PhD in? Why did you do that? What were you thinking? What is in your heart? Something that personal, share with us before we go to these events that is happening. Because sometimes when we do programs, we just like, okay, this person is saying this, and that, but we want to get to know you, Professor. Just share with us who is Professor Efrem Yildiz, please.
Well, Efrem Yildiz is a Bar Ashur, a Baron at Ashur from Assyria. Uh, I'm from the village of Herbole, which is located in so-called southeastern Turkey, but for me, it's the land of Ashur forever. So, yes, when I finished, let's say, the elementary school, I was sent to Germany. I did the secondary schools in Germany, and then I got a scholarship to study in Italy. And there I spent almost 11 years of studies. So I have done two, let's say, an undergraduate, two master degrees, and then PhD in biblical theology. And I did the analyze about of those texts of Mar Theodor Peshkana written in our language. I made a linguistic study and also a theological, historical commentary on those texts. You know, Theodorus of Moswesius of the 5th century. And it was an experience. So I got my PhD in biblical theology. But since then, I combined it while I was studying also the study of Semitic languages, classical languages, and so on, because in my opinion, it's very important to have an overview, a general vision about, or specific vision about the topics that a field needs to be well studied. So you know also you have to know more about those fields. And the languages are the main mean in order to get in touch with those cultures in order to understand them. So I did also some studies of the Semitic languages, Hebrew, Latin, and so on. And then once I finished, I moved to Spain. And well, I intentionally have chosen a specific place where I could develop what is becoming my dream a reality, you know, to dedicate the time, full time for the Assyrian cause in the way I was able to do. And for me, education is one of the main strength, but also means to start rebuilding. And this has been since I was a child. This without being conscious probably of that it was always to give a hand to my people in a general way. And now I see that all those efforts are receiving their fruits, you know, gradually. I feel very happy trying to help my people in the way I can do best. And teaching our language, spreading our identity around the world, defending our identity in the way that it deserves is probably one of my big satisfactions that I can, let's say, feel as an Assyrian. And this is why I'm here with you. So, uh, my biography, I have written several books, I have published many articles, always in this direction. The last one, it was a grammar of modern Assyrian language, in order to give the chance to our people. I know there are many grammars, but after reading so many texts, I saw that it was necessary to really to establish some rules, especially for the modern part. And I'm full professor here at the university, one of the veterans, would I say now. Uh, 27 years of working hard, focusing on specific topics that have led us to create the NINEVEH.
This is amazing. The journey that you have had from the beginning. One thing that was interesting that you mentioned about your PhD in theology, and
Biblical theology, yeah.
what was that? Sorry?
Biblical theology. It's not
Biblical
only
theology.
theology, yeah.
Yeah, biblical theology. Some years back, when I was in Los Angeles, we had this Bible teacher that he was reading and writing in our language. And he was explaining to these English speaking people in order to understand the mentality of the writers of New Testament and Old Testament. They call our language Syriac or Aramaic. He was writing and he put like a delet. He said, this delet makes a difference. Hey, Manu Ted Isho.
Mm.
He said, if we don't understand, if we didn't have that language, that's the one that helped us understand what it means, the faith of Jesus, not just faith in Jesus.
The
So,
genitive sense of Dalet, yes.
yeah, it was amazing. Like now what you're saying, how important it is, because especially in English, when you read Bible, there are so many translations that they have, but when you go back understanding what our language, how our ancestors, when they translated it into our language, Pshita, Tatian, back then when they did what they did. And about 2,000 years later, we have somebody like you that is in that field. And it's just the understanding. You don't have to believe in Bible, but understand at least what is it that's saying. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Uh, uh, Professor, before we go, I'm just curious. You mentioned since you were a child, you were interested. Is there like, because I think about myself, my mother had a lot to do with this, telling me about our history, reading Bible stories to me. Anything you can relate to that?
My parents were key for that. My mom and my dad, who have passed away, without being conscious probably of what was going to happen later. I was sent to Germany when I was 13. So at the beginning, I wasn't conscious of what it was supposed, to be far from the family. But then I have converted it into a vocation that is giving some fruits. It's a small path, a small step, but at least it helps our people to rebuild. And we have to learn to rebuild, especially not in an individual way. This also I have learned it from our mistakes in the past, but working collectively. I call it in our beloved language. Why? Because this is the unique way. We like territory, even we have it. We like an independence, even we should have it. The unique thing we have today is through which we can express ourselves as Assyrians is our mother tongue, the modern Assyrian language. And this is what I have been focusing on in the last at least 15, 16 years.
Well,
Yeah.
so this brings us to the first part of the program about an event that happened earlier in September. If you can share with us, we had uh, the information about University of Duhok. If you can
Yes.
tell us, because I don't want to say myself, I want you to share with us the event, what happened that then you went to University of Duhok and something about our language. I want you to be the one to tell us the whole story, please.
Yeah, this idea it's related to what we have been developing for the last let's say 25 years at the University of Salamanca. Because when I came, I immediately started uh, working in a way that I was conscious of a fact that the European higher education system was going uh, to be changed. And if you are not prepared, then you will lose the train. And we were at the right time to do things. And this work has been then gradually built until now. So, which leads us to talk about the event in Dohuk or in Muhadra in Ashur, because for me it's very important that all what we do abroad it must be also focused on what effects will it have in the future in the land of Ashur. So this is why a long time ago, Dr. James, who is an Assyrian, by the way, you see him in the picture. He said, Professor, why can't you help us to start something here? I said, well, this is my dream, helping my people wherever is needed. And at the beginning, it has costed a bit, in order to have all this bureaucratical processes. But then, yeah, the University of Salamanca and the University of Duhok, through the NINEVEH academic chair, have signed a bilateral agreement where we, for the first time, after many, many decades, probably centuries, we have the chance to teach our modern language, not the ancient. This was the condition uh, for not only for the Assyrian people, but also for the foreigners, because we have also to teach them our language, because teaching our language to the foreigners, they will get acquainted also with our richness. So, and they will then better appreciate us than they do actually. So this was one of the reasons why the University of Salamanca is is a national university. It has celebrated its 800 years of anniversary in 2018. So it has a big experience, and also its effect on such processes can then make things feasible or reality. And this was a golden chance to give an occasion to the University of Duhok to teach our language, which should be obligatory, not only I don't know what, because it's this land is of Assyrians, and if you don't cultivate your language in your own land, then at the end you will become gradually a kind of memory. I always remember this word because I gave a reply to an article of an Assyrian writer, an Assyrian author who said the Assyrians a historical memory, and I replied him, the Assyrians a historical and current reality, and we have to believe in this.
Yeah.
We are a tangible nation. We are a tangible group. We are a tangible people. So why should we not believe in that? This was one of the main reasons why I immediately start working how we could start working together. We achieved the goal that an Assyrian will teach the language there. Now, this was one of the conditions, but this is a small step. What we are going to do with Duhok University, and if things will go well, next year we are going to have a double degree. This is for me the best step, where we can teach our language, history, and literature in a balanced way. So
Just
Salamanca,
getting started. That's the whole point. As if you just get started, then you can
yes,
add the double. Professor, before I ask my next question, can we show the map of Iraq? because I want people to see where Dohuk is relative to the rest of the world. This is the map of Iraq, and the north part, is that the red part, right? That's the region. Professor, can you see
this is the map of Ashur as well, part of the land of
map of
Ashur.
Ash? My apologies.
No,
Uh,
no, yeah,
yeah, so it says the part that says Nuhadra, uh, uh, we talked about the name Dohuk, and I used to think Dohuk was Kurdish, but you corrected me, said actually it is Ashuri language, our language, the name.
when I was in Ashur, I had the chance to talk to uh, Odisho, our big vice author, and he really just often many issues. And yes, we both agreed that the Dohuk is not a Kurdish name; it's an ancient Assyrian name that then has been adopted by Kurds. And then, as you don't know about your own legacy, as you should, then you believe that it's a loan word. No, no, it's an Assyrian word that has been used by the others, and we regained it again. But Nuhadra is also a term that is linked to a specific topic which has to do with education. You know that Muhadara was one of the big educational center in the ancient time. This
Wow.
also, yeah,
I thought it was
Europe,
Etiben or Edessa. These are the centers that I knew, but
Orhai, Nisibis, Balad, and Muhadra, Slechtespon, all the centers were higher educational centers for Assyrian people. Also, the big part of the stuff that was taught there, it was linked to the religious issue, but there were history, linguistic, rhetoric, astrology, history, philosophy were taught in a natural way. So what we have to do, and I'm happy that you showed the map, because sometimes I have the impression, I hope I'm wrong. I have the impression that our people really, not all of them, of course, a big group of them, they don't, locate when we talk about the geographical points. Uh, Sometimes it's difficult for them to see or to know where it is exactly located. And
yeah.
this is an important point that we have also to show to, especially to the new generation who lives in diaspora, to also to take them to the land of Ashur uh, from a geographical point of view, from a historical, linguistic, and cultural, and so on. So this is why I'm happy and I'm thankful to you that you showed the map. Some people want to create other nations in the land of Ashur. And if you don't know that this land is here and not there, then you believe in what the people say. So this is why I'm happy that you show, even it's a small side. If you go back, Ashur started exactly like this red point, where then they got the big Assyrian Empire. We are not going to conquer the whole Assyrian Empire, but at least we are going to fight in an intelligent and educated way for our rights in our homeland. And education in this sense is absolutely needed. This is why this first step in Dohuk is important. It's small, but it's very important in order to give also hope to the Assyrians who are living there. And next step, a double degree. And then, the idea of Nineveh Academic Chair is to, to arrive to really an Assyrian online, for instance, online university in Ashur.
Yeah. And one thing that I learned from you, last week you had a program in our Ashuri language with NINEVEH regarding the subject we're covering today in English. And one thing that you said, I will never forget. Tarbita, tarbita, tarbita.
Absolutely.
Means, you tell me what it means. You say,
Education, education, education. without education, you don't have any chance to survive, first of all. Without education, you will never get acquainted with your own legacy. Without education, you will not be able to fight for your own rights in the 21st century. So this is why the Assyrian community around the world must become conscious of the necessity of training our kids in many fields, but also we have to learn to do some sacrifice. What I'm struggling now for is to have some Assyrian talent that decides to make sacrifices, because learning the language, learning the history, learning the literature, the Assyrian culture, and so on, doesn't seem for today a thing that is attractive for the current society. But if you don't train at least an average of um, specific Assyrian talents, then all the work we are doing together, it's
Exactly.
not going to have the fruits we are dreaming of. So what I'm asking for all the Assyrian community around the world to help us to train these people, because without education, as I told you, there's no chance to survive today.
That's very true, especially so much misinformation out there that is going around, people confused. They say, you know what, forget about this. Now, it's amazing when we showed the map, small, tiny place in northern Ashur, that you have put the seed that originally started at Salamanca. If you were not there, you wouldn't be asked to come to the hook. Now, that small part in North Ashur, there is small, the seed is planted. Now, from there, we go to Paris, the city of whatever it used to be called, lights or whatever it was. But it's amazing that the like different parts of, I mean, if there is no comparable between Duhok and Paris, they say, what's the relation here? The relation is the people of Ashur.
Of course.
We are here and we have a Professor Yildiz here that the last 2 years. So tell us about the conference, the past 2 years that it was done in Salamanca. What was the things that you did, the achievements, and the reason you have it now in Paris? If you can share it with us, then we will go through the itinerary of
With
those.
pleasure, with pleasure. Yes. As I told you, since the foundation of Nineveh Academic Chair, it was founded not in order to say, well, we have a chair without activities, a chair without initiatives, then it doesn't help at all. So,
Yeah.
according to our possibilities, we started with things, and the first step was to start spreading. The best way to spread is creating these occasions where the people can come together, learn from each other, and then work, researching, and then publishing. This was one of the main ideas why the Nineveh Chair was founded. So we have had, as you have underlined, the two first congresses here at the University of Salamanca, and it was not only an excellent experience, but it was also a very fruitful, where you put the Assyrian talent that is matured together. For me, it was a big gift seeing that several or many of Assyrian scholars that are around the world were put together, and each of them was trying to teach or to reveal those aspects that where they are specialized in. We have to learn to take advantage of such talents. And this was one of the main ideas. Indeed, during this third conference, some works of those conferences are going to be published, and you will see them there. So we are gradually achieving a goal. And now, why Paris? Uh, I have underlined it several times. It's also important that your people gets directly in touch with what you are developing, with
Right.
what you are researching. And the best way is moving the Nineveh Church activities, in this case, to a place where there is an Assyrian community. The Chaldo-Assyrian community, especially the Shawtapudat Atorai Keldai, which means the Association of Chaldo-Assyrians in Paris, they were generous and they said, okay, let's contribute to
That's
this
great.
initiative.
Yeah.
And because so the fruit of Ashur can have a profit of it in a direct way. If you look at the names and ages who are participating, we have now at about 75 and other 10, 15 from Paris will be. So we will be more or less 100 people there. And a big part of them are the use of Ashur. And this is what we are trying to announce and to focus on, because if you don't focus on them, then all your work will end with having published, which is good, a work, a book, or some books or articles, but at the end, if you don't look for the continuity, and this is my dream, and this is also a call for all the Assyrians around the world. If we have some scholarships, then we can train. And then if we train, there is a continuity. And this is why we have taken it to Paris. I hope the next time it will be in US or in Sweden or in Germany, and my dream once will be to do it in Ashur.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yes, this is the main reason why we have started moving the Congress to Paris. There is an active community there. Shevtapudat Atorakel France. They are encouraged to 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 do something that will also help several of these young people who are participating to probably get somehow convinced I'm going to do something for my people. And this is the main reason why we are moving the Nineveh Academic Chairs Congress from one place to the other. It's also much more difficult, I must admit, because it's the first time we are moving it. But if there is, how would I say, an encouragement, there is motivation, and this is what I do for my people. I'm motivated to help. I'm motivated to work, and probably these are the years of my life where I can do something useful, let's say, for the next generation. And this is why. In this Congress, we will talk about Assyrian language always will be present in the Congresses, but also about the history of New Assyria. And I must admit, this was the idea that I have taken from Nora Bet-Yusuf. She's working very hard as well for the Assyrian cause in many ways. So I said, that's the way. Why we have to believe in really in Assyria, and not just thinking, yeah, what that. No, you have to say, I'm from Ashur. Ashur exists, and you have to work for that. And this one of the activities. But we have many other activities, research groups. And my dream is to start, if we have the financial means, to start working or creating the Assyrian Academic Council that must work in a professional way upon those topics that are urgently needed. And if we have that group, we have an average of about 30, 33 scholars. It's not a small.
Nice. Yeah.
And the beauty is that all of them, they are trying to work together.
That's the part that is amazing. Working together, people that they know what they're talking about. It's just a combination of people that love what they're doing, people that are motivated, they are excited, because it's the exciting part is that attracts people. They say, "Oh, what's going on? How come you guys are so happy?" So, it's like a virus. It's a happy virus, and it's great. It's about our ancestors, and we are the descendants of the cradle of civilization. These are the things that sometimes we forget about. And just one thing is that I wanted to mention is that it's the conference is October 15th to 17th. I don't know if any of you have out there have registered or not. I think it's too late to register now. But
Today it was the last day because we due to the fact that there will be sessions which will be celebrated in the National Assembly building and others in the Senate building. So this is why we have to send for the security issues all the names of those who are registered to this let's say buildings in order to have a control. But if an Assyrian comes and we have also there will be a day which will be done also in the association building, which is a very nice one, and a day will be also in the hotel where we will have for the first time the beauty of the dresses of Assyrian kings. They will be explained, the symbols that they contain. So we have also an Assyrian talent that is developing also those fields. So yes, this is why we have today decided to stop registering more people because otherwise they will not. And I don't like to have people then they won't be able to enter. So this is why we are a very nice number. I'm very happy, and but all Assyrians are invited to listen to and to enjoy these conferences. We have top professors, scholars who will be giving conferences in the location. So let's enjoy it. Let's learn from it, from them, and let's support them.
and the other thing is that Assyria TV will be there because
This
not
was
only
going to
for
be
people,
yeah.
not only the people attending will see everything live, but we need a record to show it to people all around the world, whoever is not able to make it there. Just amazing that Assyria TV is able to do that because it's not easy getting the equipment coming from Sweden and all these things. So I appreciate Assyria TV for all the efforts. And you mentioned about the registration. Professor Efrem, I'll see you on Monday, on Tuesday. Believe
I
it or
will
not,
be
my
yeah.
family and I, we had planned to come to Paris, and after that, we're going to Italy. But on 15th, I went to the site. I did the registration. They're asking for name, passport number, things like that. And later, they asked like place of origin. So
Yes,
I don't get in trouble because I was born in Tehran, Iran, and nowadays Iran is not as but
yeah, but the problem is I received this imperative request 2 days ago. We asked for the passport number and this, and then in a sudden they said, no, we need to know the birthplace. And,
birthplace.
and but the beauty of I at the end we have to change it. But the beauty was many of Assyrians put nationality Assyria. This is the way. We have
Yeah,
to believe in our own. We
yeah, I
have
missed that
to
part.
be convinced of it. So yes, there are these small obstacles where if you want to have this special occasion to celebrate an Assyrian Congress in the National Assembly building is not an easy issue. This is why I'm thankful for two groups, to Assyria TV, who has been always supportive and who is supportive. And Dikran and I told him that it's a joy to work together because each time said, okay, this is in a sudden things are done. And also to our people who are doing a huge job. There is the president of the association, but there is a diamond who is not known, George Auckland, who is doing all this work with an energy, with connecting with the deputies, with the senates, in order to have us there. And this is where I feel proud of.
That's
So
amazing.
my thanks also to the whole Shota group who are doing a huge job looking for restaurants, hotels, then now picking up and so on. So this makes Assyria strong, and this is what we have to do and enjoy.
That's
Okay.
perfect. one thing is that we showed the agenda for the 3 days. If you our people, if they want to see what the agenda is, you can go to Professor Efrem's Facebook. You can see the agenda. We have it here. We are showing it
Yes.
on the program. One thing, and we are coming close to the end of the program, but when you mention about these shotaputa choosing restaurants, things like that, I have a very, very important question to ask because on Tuesday, I'm going to stay with you guys, have dinner. So since we are in Paris, are we going to have escargot, uh, legs of frog? Because I want to know in advance if I should eat before I come over there. So what are
The and Assyr never asks
ultimate,
whether
ultimate
you are vegetarian and so on.
halazul?
That's going to be a nice surprise. We have cocktails, we have gala dinners, we have even a nice concert at the end.
Yeah, that last night I'm gonna miss that. It's gonna be
Yeah,
the
there you will miss
Assyrian.
a very nice concert. And the
Yeah.
last one, which we have had here, and they can confirm it, it was a marvelous concert we have had. And I'm thankful to Nora Lacey that made it possible. Eating will be, we will have delicious dishes.
Okay.
But
I'll
let's be
take your word.
surprised. Yes, yes.
All right. Professor, thank you very much. Before we go, one last thing you want to share with our people uh, about anything so we can close this for today.
Just as usual, حب حيادة ويوت. If we have this three, which means love, unity, and harmony. If we have this, then the work في الخونة will be done. Ashur will be built. The people will feel happiness, seeing that what we are fighting for, it makes a sense. Assyria is alive and is a alive nation. These are my last words. Thanksgiving for all those who are making it possible, and let's fight together. Sa'tana Eid, Sa'tana Eid. If we do it, then we will achieve uh, at least to put what we call it cornerstone or milestone in order to build upon that. And this is what we have to focus on. Let's do it together, and I'm sure we will achieve at least those results that will help our incoming generation to fight, to work, and to build in an intelligent way the new Assyria.
Professor, it's amazing what you're saying because activities, regardless of what they are, they say about convention, people go there drinking, dancing, but it's activity. People get together. Then we have your activity, intellectual, academic. It's just moving like running water. If water stays in one place, doesn't do anything, you know what happens to it. So the people like you, the activities that you bring, academic, intelligent, tarbita, educating, these are the ones that I believe is going to keep that water running, moving, building, and this is the hope that we have. We have existed for over 2,600 years after the fall of the empire. I believe in miracles, and there is a time comes with people like you doing your things. Professor, let me tell you something. I don't give compliments that easy to anybody. Let's just be clear on that. But the people like Assyria TV, like people like you, that's why I'm part of this. I wanted to come. It worked out. At least one day I will spend it with you because when you see your brothers and sisters, when we get together, it's something else. You know that, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, and I fully agree with what you believe in, and also I do the same. This is the way.
Yeah.
Do we want really to work for the renaissance of Assyria or not? And I'm convinced of a yes. And
Yes.
let's do it together. But one alone it doesn't make sense. If we all together, you're on your side, Pras Khazwa, we scholars on our side, then others who are trying to train them on the other, then and putting this together, this will make it possible. And I firmly believe in that. And
Yeah.
I firmly believe that Assyria again will be a nation, a people, a language, and a tangible reality, not only a historical reality.
Bruchta Ashur Pulkhaned Idi.
الكل زوما.
This is what gives me.
Yeah.
But Professor, thanks again. I'll see you in a couple of days. Thanks for the time, for everything that you have done and you're doing, and keep this water moving. And people, we are all part of the same body, different
Absolutely.
parts, as long as each part knows their responsibility, not to get the business of the other parts, right? We will definitely get where you're telling us to get. Thanks you again. Appreciate the time that you gave us. We're going to have a great time in Paris. It's going to be a great success. Assyrian TV will capture everything, and we will share it with the rest of our nation, of the achievements, of the activities of NINEVEH. Thanks to Professor Efrem Yildiz. Dear people of Ashur, thank you for watching. Khaya Ashur, Mabqila, thank you. Goodbye. Thank you, Doctor.
أمينايت. بشانة وشلامة.
Hoşçakalın.
شيخاني